Hey everyone, welcome back to Brown Coat Nerd. Today we're going to be looking at the Rock River Arms LAR-15 Tactical Carbine. Now I did pick this up off of AIM Surplus back in August of 2025. They had it simply listed as an LAR-15. After I got it, I did email Rock River Arms with the serial number, hoping to find out what department maybe they sold it to and the year of production. That's when they told me it left their facility as the quote-unquote tactical carbine, which I believe is just basically this setup here, and that it was produced in August of 2017. So not nearly as old as I thought it was. I think this might be kind of an older model that they offered even back in 2017. This is very similar. They've got some operator models. I think there's like a operator 2. I don't know. There's a couple different operator ones. This is pretty similar to it, not quite the same. So the main reason I wanted to get this, and many of my subscribers know, I've been buying a lot of Smith & Wesson M&P surplus police pistols from AIM Surplus lately. And a while back I saw a listing for one of these restricted marked lower receivers, and I was like, you know what? I need to have one of those in my collection. I'm not a big AR guy. I'm mostly military surplus and AKs. So I really don't know diddly squat about AR. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to lie to you, I had never heard of Rock River Arms before I started looking at buying this. Now, at the time, AIM Surplus, they had a whole bunch of police turn-in ARs. Not all of them were restricted marked. They had a few Rock River Arms that were, and I think a few Colts that were as well. The Rock River Arms were quite a bit cheaper than the Colts. I had heard of Colt before. So I decided to go the Rock River route. Did some quick research, saw that they were a good, reputable company. They were considered to be, fairly high on the board there. Also, the main reason this jumped out at me was just kind of the overall look. This kind of weird, odd-looking trigger guard. I've seen extended trigger guards before, but this kind of angular one caught my eye. I'm normally not big even on free float handguards, but this one, just with the little circles down here, for whatever reason, it just spoke to me. I thought it was cool, and I really liked the flip up front sight that was built into the gas block. Once again, thought that was kind of cool. How common or uncommon are these on ARs? I have no freaking clue. I don't know what I'm doing. So like I said, I did purchase this from AIM Surplus, August of 2025, for $700. This is item number F1 RRA LAR 1516. And as of September 15th, I think that's today, I did check their website. They are still in stock, and lucky you, if you decide that you want to get one of these, they're $100 less now. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It's not even a sell price. It looks like they just brought the price down by $100. Overall, spoiler alert, I'm still very happy with this, even though I paid a little more than you might pay. So like I said, the main reason I wanted it was for the restricted mark. Now, on top of that, I kind of wanted something a little bit more unique, just something different if I'm going to add another AR to my collection. And this one, just kind of in the way it looks and is set up, nailed it for me. Now, I will point out, it did not come with the mag, and also, it actually ended up not coming with this trigger guard. The image that AIM Surplus has on their website shows this Rock River trigger guard on there. PA Gun Guy also purchased one of these shortly before I did. He did a video on his. His also has the Rock River trigger guard. So you're probably most likely going to get one of these, but if you don't, it'll just be the standard flat one. And it bugged me enough because, like I said, that's kind of one of the things that drew my eye to this overall model. Rock River Arms does still sell them, and it was only $20 with shipping and everything. So yeah, I went ahead and threw that on here. But do know that there's a chance you'll just get the standard one. I know it doesn't affect anything. This gun is nothing to do with fitting a specific category, like in my collection, or to fulfill a specific purpose. This is just to look cool AR. Kind of in my head, like a late 90s, early 2000s setup. I don't know what I'm talking about because this was made in 2017, so clearly much older. But anyways, so that's kind of my overall idea, I think, of where I'm going to go. I'm going to throw so much crap on this and change it out. It's going to be ridiculous and a total waste of my time and money. But, like I said, it did not come with a mag. It did come with a rear sight. Like I said, the front one is a flip-up that is built into the gas block. And you just pull up on it. It locks into place. And then you got the little button over here to push it down, and it is adjustable for elevation. Then we have the ARMS or ARMS rear sight. This guy is actually pretty nice. Whoa. Bet you all saw my toes, didn't you? So first of all, what I thought was pretty cool about this sight is if you push it down or actually gets knocked down, it's not going to lock back down. You've got to lift up on this little lever and then lock it in place, which I thought was pretty handy. We do have a large aperture as well as a small one, and it might look like the top of this one has been ground down. That is actually how they are made, so that when this is put down, you don't have anything sticking up. And it's also worth pointing out that you cannot lock this back down until you have the large aperture put up, because the large aperture will get in the way when trying to lower it. So you will need to make sure it's on that before locking it back in place. Now then, once again, like I said, these are made by ARMS, another company I never heard of, which is kind of a shame for me to admit, because they're actually the ones that came up with the Piccaninny rail system. But I was a little bit curious about this. I heard people say, oh, those are great rear sights. I don't know crap about AR-15s or ARMS Incorporated, apparently. So I was a little curious about this. Also, I noticed that there is a duck on it, which really piqued my interest and curiosity as to why that was. So you can actually still get this sight on the ARMS website for $160. So pretty happy that that was thrown in. And ARMS has been around apparently since 1980. And trying to figure out why the heck that duck is on there, what I discovered is ARMS actually stands for Atlantic Research Marketing Systems, which has absolutely nothing to do with ducks. But then I was watching a video on Small Arms Solutions, and he's got a video that actually goes over ARMS, and he had mentioned that the owner, all of the owner's close friends, would simply refer to him as Uncle Dick, which once again has absolutely nothing to do with ducks. But then I found out Uncle Dick's last name is Swan, which isn't a duck, but it is a swan, and I guess that's what we've got going on there. So I probably should have started with that last part first, but I guess that's why there's a swan on there. I like these sights enough. Once again, I have not shot this gun yet. But I like these sights enough. The direction I was going on my T91 AR, I'm actually going to get rit. I'm going to remove the front sight that's fixed on there and go with flip-ups. I might go and get another set of these. These, I'm sold on them. As far as durability, reliability, that you can tell it's just a very rugged design. So, very happy. It came with a $160 flip-up rear sight. That's definitely a bonus. Overall, it's just kind of nothing crazy. Got your standard flash hider on there. The barrel, I don't know if you can see these markings, but it is a 1 in 9 twist, and it is actually chrome lined. Apparently most of these Rock River Arms builds are not chrome lined. This particular one is. Got the flip up front sight. We do have the RRA logo on there. Now normally these would have 3 sling swivels, 1 on each side and then 1 on the bottom. Once again, PA Gun Guy, the one that he had, does have all 3. I was actually a little bit relieved to see that this was missing the bottom one. Because I'd already been thinking about it. If I put a flashlight, and this is not a bayonet lug, but rather a short section of pick rail to put a light on, I had a feeling if I put a light on here, that sling swivel is going to get in the way. If I put a vertical grip, that sling swivel is going to get in the way. But I didn't, I mean, even though it's not a permanent adjustment, removing that bottom sling swivel, I was just kind of like, if it's on there, I'm going to leave it on there, which I assumed it would be. Luckily, it was not on there, so now I don't have to, deal with that in my head. It's not on there, it's not on there. Perfect, that's how I wanted it. You got this very interesting looking free float handguard. We do have ventilation circles, ventilation holes on the side sections of the rail, and on the top and bottom it is solid, and the top and bottom sections are not numbered. You might notice that the sections on the upper are. And then, like I said, we have that restricted roll mark on there, which is really the big reason I got this. Now, one thing, once again, I've found interesting, and maybe someone can answer this because I don't know anything about ARs. I had assumed that all of the police, turn-in ARs that we're seeing that have this restricted mark on there were produced during the assault weapons ban. This was made in 2017, and the assault weapons ban ended in 2004, 2005, I think. So why is that on there? Like, I don't mind it. I think it's cool. That's why I got this, but that just kind of confused me a little bit. And then I think there are some states that ARs are just outright banned in. I could be wrong. And so I thought maybe this is something that the police do in those states that have these. I don't know. But if anyone knows why they still do the restricted mark even after the assault weapons ban, I would love to know. And then, like I said, I did go ahead and change out to the Rock River trigger guard, which you will probably get one of these on yours if you order it. Standard A2 grip. And then we just have the standard buttstock on here. It is branded Rock River Arms. And then you have the little hole for the numbers on the tube, which of course this one does not have, but that's fine. That's no big deal. Let's see. Like I said, my overall plans... that back in there. It looks so good with the well-used Stin Ag Mag. It's just I'm gonna kind of make a rifle that just kind of looks cool. What era? I don't even know, because I thought this was kind of late 90s, early 2000s. I was off by almost 20 years, and maybe this was made at the tail end of the tactical carbine. Maybe they still make this today. I don't know. So I'm just kind of going nothing clone correct. I'm not trying to make a tribute to any kind of gun. I'm just going to throw some crap on here that I think just aesthetically kind of works with it. The butt stock, I do not know if I will keep. I am torn on that. The grip, I've already got something on the way. Handguard we're keeping with. Sight, stuck with that one. I'm definitely keeping that. Flashlight, this is kind of like an odd spot to work with that room. A lot of the longer lights that are kind of pretty common now, like, I'm not going to be able to utilize that. I could put it on here, which would make sense, but I have that, so I must use that. I've got something on the way. It's another LE trade-in from AIM Surplus, and they sold out of them pretty quickly once they caught my eye. It's going to be a close fit. I hope to God it fits. If it doesn't, I just wasted $100. And then the flash hider, I'm kind of torn on that too. I kind of want to put on the T91 style flash hider, which is this. Essentially just a birdcage. But instead of just having the bottom solid, it kind of comes up a little bit on the left side too. So it kind of works like a sugar scoop brake on an AK. And then we also have these 3 lines of 3 holes, once again off, top into your right, to help mitigate muzzle rise and recoil. The thing I like about this, it's not a crazy brake where it's going to have a ton of concussion to go along with it. It's much more milder. Does it actually do anything? I haven't tested that against other brakes, so I couldn't speak to that. The only thing I hate, it's going to add some length. They're quite a bit longer. So I'm either going to keep this flash hider, or I might put a T91 flash hider on there. I'm not sure. Charging handle, I do have some plans for, but let's go ahead and take it apart so you can see the internal wear. Once again, if you're considering these, I highly recommend checking out PA Gun Guy's video. He knows stuff about ARs. I don't. And these pins is kind of neat. We'll point out real quick. They've got like little indentions on your push pins, I guess, to kind of like put a tip of a bullet in there. Help remove them, because these are tight sometimes. On my first video attempt at making this video, they popped right out. This one, that front one, is being a real pill. Here we go. I think I got it. God dang. Well, it's partially out. Let's push it back in and start over, right? Okay. Thought I had it. Are you kidding me? Bruh. There we go. Good lord. So, I think it's just a bunch of grime on the takedown pin. I've cleaned through this. I didn't do a heavy cleaning. Hammer, I was actually surprised at how little wear is on there. So my T91, it's an upper. I put it on an older, don't laugh, Bear Creek Arsenal lower. It's worked fine. I don't feel like I've shot that one a bunch, but the hammer on that's got more wear than the hammer on this Rock River Arms. Now maybe the hammer on the Rock River Arms just has a much better coating, so it's, you know, holding up better. Who knows? The buffer, I mean, it seems fine. I've seen some buffers that are heavily used. It almost looks like there might be a ring around it. I don't feel any metal pushed up on the edges. I don't know if that's a thing. But if it is, this one doesn't seem to have that problem. And then this does appear to pass the gas ring test. I did clean this out. I didn't go to town. I didn't get a brush in there. I do know PA Gun Guy states that his passed the gas ring test. But then he threw up some captions saying that once he thoroughly cleaned it, it actually, you know, failed the gas ring test, and the carrier did come down on the bolt. So I was kind of going into this expecting to get the little rebuild kit for the bolt, but I held off until I got it in my hands and looking at it. And once again, I haven't, you know, gone real crazy cleaning it. I don't think it needs it. I'm going to shoot it some, see how it feels, but I don't think I need to do that rebuild kit. I still might do it anyways, just because they're not that expensive. But I was pretty happy with this wear. Once again, I don't know nothing about ARs. Looking at PA Gun Guys, I feel like his bolt head might have been a little bit more worn, or had a little more finish, taking off those lugs there rather. This does have the semi-auto bolt carrier. At least it's not the fully neutered one like the Colts where they just lop the entire bottom section off. At least this keeps the ring connected. I don't know if that matters. I feel like structurally it might help. I don't know. But yeah, that doesn't bother me one way or another really. The charging handle, I'm shocked at how little wear is on it. It's got a little line right there, right on that corner, on that one side. But other than that, it's in pretty good shape. Not much wear at all. Maybe this, maybe this got replaced at some point during the life of this rifle. I do not know. Then down in here, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this on camera. We are marked RRA, and then we have a number. Now, this number does not match the serial number on my lower. PA Gun Guy, like I said, he did a video. This number does not match the number on his upper, and the number on his upper does not match the number on his lower. So I don't know if this is like a batch number, or if they did just separately serialize the uppers. I'm not sure, but it is a Rock River Arms upper, as you can see there. I feel like there's something else I was going to mention while I had it apart, but I can't think of it, so we'll see what happens. Oh, yes, I am not putting that together right. There we go. So, as I reassemble this guy, and knock you guys over, Give you another little sneak peek at my feet. It's okay. I know what you're into. The outside is... So the inside wasn't too dirty. It did have some spots where there's a lot of carbon buildup. The outside was just kind of like multi-shades of black. Especially on this side, right through that roll mark. It almost looked like there was like maybe layers of paint on here. And right here, there was just a big silver circle. It's like someone took some keys and just went to town, like they're had a scratcher ticket or something. But that kind of multi-tone black bugged me. So I was like, you know what? I've got... Where did I put them? Here we go. Some stuff I'd actually ordered on accident. I have got these gun scrubber wipes from Birchwood Casey. I had 2 packs of them. I was trying to order their barricade wipes. So this is just kind of like a cleaner or degreaser. I never really used them. I think I'd used them once years ago and forgot what happened. But I was like, you know what, let me try to clean some of this grime off. And also just running your hands over it, like it was just dirty. And that was the main thing I was trying to clean up. I didn't really know if I'd get rid of that multi-tone black look. So I took out one of those gun scrubber wipes, scrubbed her all down. It was sopping wet from that. I'm like, I'll just let that sit and soak in for a couple of hours. And I came back and I freaked out a little bit because this guy was just crusty white. Like it had degreased the living crap out of it. So I was like, oh, damn, oops. So then I grabbed the barricade wipe, which is what I thought I was ordering when I got those gun scrubbers. And this is just like an oil wipe, like if you're putting something up. It's not really necessarily a cleaner. It does clean up some. But this is just put a coating of oil on stuff. I like it. It's very thin and runny, and I feel like it stays forever. Put the barricade wipe on there, and it looked great. It was a big improvement. Plus, I noticed a lot of that silver had gone away. So I did that combo with the gun scrubber and the barricade wipe like 3 or 4 times. And I would let it sit for like the whole day with the gun scrubber stuff on there. Then get the barricade wipe it down, let it sit for like another 2 or 3 days. Wipe all the excess off and start over. So I kept doing that. And I pretty much got rid of that multi-tone black look. But what blew me away, and looking back, I really wish I did a before and after video now. Like did a video as I got it, and I didn't know it was going to clean up this good. When I saw that big silver circle there when I got this, I was like, cool, it looks used. Like that mark, which most people would be like, oh man, like I was cool with. I didn't want something that looked brand new. I wanted something that looks like it got used on a regular basis. And it cleaned it up. I was not expecting that. You can kind of see some scratches. You can't feel the scratches. But some of them did actually get to the coating on the actual upper. So I guess a lot of that silver, whatever got scratched up against it, is just leaving material behind rather than taking material off. And then I cleaned it all off. So I was very impressed with that. I'm not sure if I'm happy or sad about it. Yeah. So, and this is still a little bit grimy here. This looks way better. These white letters, too, you could barely read them. They had so much grime just coated over them. And that's not really a roll mark. I think that's just like laser engraved there. You can't feel it at all running your finger across it. But going back and forth with those cleaners again, it didn't affect that mark at all. But it brought it out a lot more. It's a lot easier to see. Which, once again, makes me happy, because that's really the main reason I got this gun. So, let's get our aesthetic again. Well, like I said, I got a few parts on the way. Just kind of going for a cool-looking gun. Nothing specific, nothing, correct. Just something to have fun with, but at the same time, like, is a decent all-around, firearm, I guess. One other thing while I'm thinking about it, PA gun guy, his upper is marked, and I think he was saying that it's not a super common company that makes uppers. I don't know if they're necessarily rare, but it wasn't real common. This one, as you can see, is completely unmarked. I believe that's the forgery mark for the lower. I don't know. But it does have that, so there's that, just in case you were wondering. Am I happy with this purchase? Absolutely. Like, this thing, could have been even more beat up, and it kind of was for a little bit, and I was happy with it. I really wanted that marking. After reading into Rock River Arms, I now know that they're a good, well-respected company, so I am happy that I ended up with the Rock River Arms. I think it looks very unique. Once again, it's coming from an 8K guy, so maybe this is, like, not unique looking at all. But honestly, like, what drew my attention to it was that trigger guard, the hand guard, and the flip-up front sight. So I'm just going to make a cool-looking gun out of this that is also a decent gun. I think that's my in-game plan on this. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram as well as Rumble. And of course, as always, stay safe and stay shiny. That's a Firefly reference, by the way, in case you guys are always wondering why the hell I say that stay shiny crap. It's an awesome sci-fi show. It's a space western. It only lasted one season, but then they made a movie, too, and you can find them on streaming. That's where the channel name comes from, as a matter of fact. All right, I'm out of here.